Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Dinosaurs Will Die, Never Not. This board features good old-fashioned traditional camber, so from contact point to contact point you have that arc of traditional camber. That is going to give you all the load, pop, snap, and drive out of this board. This board's available in 153, 157, and 161. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was a mix of sun and clouds. There was 4 inches of fresh snow on top of crust, and I mean real crusty crust. There's some chopped chunder, perfect corduroy, icy corduroy, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. So I owned this board when it was the Brewster, and since then, with the change in factories and the name of the board, it's gotten stiffer. And it's noticeably stiffer. It's not quite full-blown free ride, but it's not quite middle of the road. It's somewhere in that middle ground where it's playful where it counts, but it's really more precise. You do have a small sweet spot in the nose and the tail, and then just consistent flex through the middle. The torsional flex is easy to engage, but there is some rebound to it. Now, as I was riding a lot of choppy terrain that was really crusty, this board was smooth. It cut through everything with ease. It plowed through chop and chunder. You didn't really have to worry about getting bucked around. If you kept your knees bent, yeah, you were doing a little bit better, but if you were just being lazy and laid back and suddenly got thrown, you weren't gonna go ass over tea kettle with it. This board was just really good at dissipating kinetic energy. I didn't notice any foot fatigue from it. There was definitely no chatter in the nose or flap at all. This board has good old-fashioned traditional camber, so you have to load it up, roll back on the tail, and when you do, it springs. The more you put in, the more rebound you're gonna get, the higher you're going to pop. If you're being laid back, expect it to be soggy. That's just user error. This board is reactive, so the more you put in, the better it becomes. But even if you are gonna be laid back, there's still some spring, but like I said, it can be soggy. Now, as it was still kind of a low tide early in the year point when I rode this, we didn't have a lot of variety in jumps to hit, but what I did hit, this board was fully at home with. It will send it. So if you want to go small, medium, large, I wouldn't worry about it. Load it up, you're going to pop higher, let the lip throw you, still going to be able to boost. So when it comes to buttering, you have those really small sweet spots, and that's where you want to leverage your weight into. The nose will press a little bit deeper than the tail. That's just one thing that I noticed just with the shaping and everything. So you can do a better nose butter. The tail requires a little bit more effort. When you go to hit rails, this wouldn't be my first jib stick. 50/50s, a nose press, a tail press, or a basic board slide, yeah, it's gonna be able to get it done. It's a little bit stiffer than you want, so it doesn't really cradle around the feature. It kind of balance boards on it, so you have to be aware of that. But if you know how to jib, you're not gonna have a problem. If you don't know how to jib, there are plenty of other Dinosaurs Will Die boards you should be looking at. This board is very fluid and smooth with a quick edge-to-edge power transmission, and when you need power, you can push your back knee into the center of the board and drive it down into the camber to get it to slingshot out of the turn. The one issue that I did notice with this board is that if you're really trying to lay a deep, hard Euro carve with it, it's like you hit a limiter. It just won't let you lay it over anymore. Yes, it's locked in when it's on edge, but short, tight, quick carves and medium carves are really its strong suit. Like when you're trying to really lay it over, it just leaves a little bit more to be desired. That's not saying it can't carve, I'm just saying you're not gonna be railing Euro carves, you know, no toe side powder boners when you're just cutting deep and hard. That's just not gonna happen. You're not dragging balls with this thing. Who's this board for? The freestyle focused freerider, someone that wants to be able to charge, but if they need to play around, they can. So like I said earlier in this review, I owned this when it was the Brewster, and since then they've changed factories. This board has gotten stiffer, and I feel like it's gotten more camber. It's got more pop to it, for sure. And that just means that you can drive this a little bit harder. You can really just get it up to speed. It rails a turn okay, but not full-blown Euro carves. One thing that I would like you to know, and so would Dinosaurs Will Die, there is a center line sidewall in this in case you want to split it into a split board when you clap it out. If you know what you're doing, go for it. If you don't, please find someone that does. And remember, if you're gonna cut this board into a split board, measure 4 times, cut once, instead of cut 4 times and measure once. I've seen people do that. You know who you are. No, we cannot fix that for you, Tim. But anyways, overall, really did enjoy this board. It was cool to see this, and I like what's coming out of the new factory with Dinosaurs Will Die. I feel like these boards are a little more damp, they're a little more smooth when you're riding through choppy terrain. Comparable boards, the Ride Deep Fake, the Yes Pick Your Line on Ink, the Rome Stalefish. Binding recommendations: the Rome Katana, the Bent Metal Transfer, the Union Force. This has been my review of the Dinosaurs Will Die, Never Not. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.